Bible upon your rostrum, stand and face Jerusalem. The blessing of the Sabbath. Barakah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Ethelanawa, Hashabath, Bashalawam, Thowada, Aman. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it. Zaha'ayim Ma'ad Asherayim Akkad, Psalms 121. Anya Harayim Ayanyam Ya Oh Haharim Ayan Yabawa Isaiah Yabawa Mayahawa Shaisha Shamayim Warataza La'a Yanawam Salak La'a Yanathan Lamawat Regalia, Yala'a, Yanawam, Shashamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashun, Shashwama, Yashuela, Yahweh, Shamaya, Yahweh, Tazaya, I am Yad, Yam Yawamam, Hashemash, La'a Hakaya, Wayarak, La'a Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamaria, Makal, Ra, Yashama, Napasha, Yahweh, Yashama, Habalakya, Wabawaya, Ma'aitha, I Walam, Bahasham, Yahweh, Thowada, Aman.
Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hill, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy move. He will not suffer. Shall lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Shema Yasha'Allah, Hail Israel. Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh. Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh. Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh.
Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord. Amen.
Amen. Tapala Yahweh, the Lord's Prayer. Abiyanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kwadash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwavka, Saba'at Tazawanka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Ka, Bashamayim, Nathalanawa, Lakam, Yawum, Za, Wasalakwanawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kababathyanawa, Wala'a, Habiyanawa, O, Nasayawan, Abo, Hawashinawa, Mara, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwat, Waha'ala, Wathaparath, La'aiwalam, Aman.
Matthew 6:9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the power and the kingdom. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Ha'ashara Matazawaf, 10 Commandments. La'ah, Yahaya, Lakah, Alahayim, Akarim, Alpanya, La'ah, Daisha, Lakah, Pasol, Wala'ah, Daibadam, La'ah, Dalakwaka, Shamwa, Yahweh, Alahayaka, Lashua, Zakar, Ath, Hayawam, Hashabath, Lakodashwa, Kabad, Abiyakar, Ra'amaka, La'ah, Daratazak, La'ah, Sana'at, La'ah, Taganab, La'ah, Da'ina, Shakur, La'ah, Zakamad, Ko, Asherah, Lara'ayaka, Aman.
Exodus 20:2. I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandment. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work. Now thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallow it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Amen. Shabbat, be seated. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathalanawa, Par Yahagabin, Thawada Amun, La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Ath Yasha'ela. A moderate upon you are awesome, stand and face Jerusalem. Barakatah Yahweh, Hagadol, Rakawam, Abiyar, Wanaba'ah, Alayawan, Malak, Shal, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Wakol, Debayim, Kayayim, Wagum, Hamashiach, Mayahawa, Adawanawa, Ahabnawa, Apalah, Yahweh Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, Baratazawan, Ainka, Yasha'ala, Izanawa, Bana, Wasap, Yasha'ala, O, Nanawa, Yum Yum, Aitha, Kayawamyum, Makwadam, Babakusha, Shalak, Mayaka'ala, Wahataz Wadat, Alahayim, La, Maganawa, Rapanawa, Washamar, Alnawa, Ba'akwar, Shalak, Harokan, Shal, Yahweh Shai, Lanawa, Walamanawa, Rabim, Kakama, Tabawana, Wada'aith, Shal, Dabarka, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Thawada, Thamyad, Waiwalam, Aman. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. And also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahweh Shai. Remember us, Yahweh, favorably, your people Israel. Help us build and gather Israel. Most high, we beg you right now, like the days of old. Please send Michael and the righteous powers to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly send the spirit of Yahweh Shai to us to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always and forever. So be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us the law. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Athawara. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us light to see. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, or War, Lara. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us the ram's horn to call the people. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Koran, Ha'ayal, La Korah, A'ain. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Hasheman, Zayath, Lamashak, Yasha'ala. Shabbat. You see.
Kung Fu class.
All right. Shalom, Yashala. Shalom or peace to all the brothers and sisters that's watching this on the live stream. Those will be dialing into the teleconference. And to the brothers or occupants here in the school on the Most High Sabbath day. Again, we say peace and a Shah Shabbat or happy Sabbath. All right. So we are thankful and blessed that the Most High has allowed us to come and celebrate together on the Most High's day of rest, so that we can get some upliftment, praise him for all that he's done, along with our accomplishments, sustenance, everything through our Lord and Savior, Hamashiach Yahweh Shah, or Jesus Christ, the anointed Savior. This is Hayashra Kanas, which is the Congregation of Israel in Hebrew, located here, Philadelphia, PA, Germantown Avenue, where we teach the Bible as our doctrine, as our book of law, history, prophecy, all things such. Right? Teaches the law, statutes, commandments found in the Bible. That gives us dietary laws, moral and civil laws, ceremonial laws, that guides us into how to be a servant, son and daughter of the Lord. So we usually go through the Bible on Sabbath services in the morning, where we go through Old Testament, New Testament, as well as the hidden books known as the Apocrypha. This week we are back into the Old Testament, the book of Deuteronomy. So we're going to go through scriptures that pertain to our continuing on our exodus out of Egypt through the wilderness until we get into the promised land, right? So we're going to go through and read about our ancient ancestors from the 12 tribes. If you didn't know, the 12 tribes are those whose ancestors on their father's side are parents, grandparents, great-grandparents on their father's side, going back at least 3 to 4 generations, who are known as the Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, Taino Indians, or Hispanics, as well as the so-called Negroes that was brought over on cargo slave ships in the 1600s, right? You represent the 12 lost tribes in the nation of Israel, according to the history and the archaeology found in the Bible and in the earth, right? The earth has revealed certain things to man throughout the years. You know, you always see hidden cities and treasures and things of that nature that has always been found through archaeology, digging up and searching things. And this has now come to light to give us guidance and understanding on who the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Why is it important? Because the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel are the Lord's chosen people. Were in the past and are still here in the current and will be redeemed in the future when Christ makes a second return to redeem those that you find in Revelations, the 7th chapter. It talks about 144,000 priests or men that's going to be raised up from those 12 tribes, along with a number, right? Because Israel is so massive that you can't number them. It's like the sand on the seashore, the stars in the heavens, that no man can just go out there, or system can go out there and just count up all of those pieces, stars or pieces of sand. So when he talks about those who's going to be redeemed for the salvation, for their honor and worthy, is pertaining to Israel, right? That's the salvation, the redemption that's coming through to the nation through Christ. Will other nations be there? Sure, there will be, right? All nations going to be there in the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of God, or the kingdom of heaven, as it is described throughout the Bible. All nations will be there. No one is saying that it's going to only be just Israel. There's going to be everyone there, but the Most High has prescribed certain things that Israel must do to be a part of that number to be redeemed, right? Because there's going to be some consequences. There's going to be some destruction. There's going to be some judgment that's going to be given by the Most High to certain of the nation of Israel, as well as even the other nations, for the things that are the actions they have done in the earth, right? So we're going to go in through the scriptures and read a bit about our history and how we continued on in our migration. Before we get into Deuteronomy in the English, we're going to read it in the Hebrew first, which is the first language on the planet Earth. We read out a little bit of the history during the time of the Tower of Babel in Genesis and how the Lord confounded the nations. And as you read on, you'll see how the language was able to be procured through certain men who then were ancestors through their ancestry became a nation of people, which is Israel. All right, so we're going to read it first in the Hebrew, and then we'll go to the English for edification. All right, so this is Deuteronomy 1:1, which starts off with Alha Hadabarim. Right, these are the words. So Alha Hadabarim Asherah Dabar Masha Al Kol Yasha'ala Ba'aibar Hayaradan Bama Dabar Ba'ira Ba Mawal Sawap Bayan Run Wabayan Thapol Wala Bun Waka Tazarath Wadaya Zahab. Or yeah, Zahab is usually gold, but this is verse 2. Akad Aishara Yawum Makarab Darak Har Hasha Shalak Sha'ayar Aid Quadash Bara Nai, verse 3. Wayahaya Ba'ara Bayim Shana Ba'ai Shathya Aishara Kadash Ba'akad La Kadash Dabar Masha Al Bunyam Yasha Allah Kol Ashara Tazawar Yahweh Athwa Alham, verse 4. Akaria Hakathwa Ath Saya Kun Malak Maria Ashara Yawa Mob Salak Yawa Shab Baka Shabwan Wa'ath I Wag Malak Haba Shun Ashara Yawa Shab Ba'ai Shathrath Ba'ada Raya Ar Haya Radun Ba'arataza Mawa Ab Hawa Yo Mashar Ba'ar Ath Hatha Wara Haza Ath La Amar, verse 6. Yahweh al Hayanawa Dabar Al Yanawa Bakarab La Amar Rab Lakam Shabbath Bahar Hazah, verse 7. Punwa Wasaiwa Lakam Wabaawa Har Maria Wa'ol Kol Shakunyawa Ba'araba Bahar Waba Shapla Wabana Gab Waba Kawap Hayam Arataza Hakana Anya Wahala Har Haga Do Nahar Parath, verse 8. Ra'ah Nathathya La Punyakam Ath Ha'arataza Bawa Warashwa Ath Ha'arataza Asherah Nashabai Yahweh La Bathyakam La Abaraham Laya Taza Kak Abraham Isaac Wala Ya Iquab Lathath Laham Wala Za Ra'aim Akaryaham Abraham Isaac Jacob, verse 9. Wa Amar al La Amar Awa Ko Ladunya Sha'ath Athkam, verse 10. Yahweh al Hayakam Haraba Athkam Waha Nakam Haya Wum Kakawa Kabya Hashemayim Larab, verse 11. Yahweh al Haya Aba Wathkam Yasap Alyakam Kakam Alap Ba'imyam Waraba Rak Athkam Ka'ashra Debar Lakam, verse 12. Ayaka Shaw Labunya Salak Labadya Karak Salak Tarakam Wama Shakam Wara Yabkam, verse 13. Habawa Lakam Nashim Kakamyam Waba Salak Wana Bunyam Waya Dayam Lasha Ashyakam, verse 14. Watha Ainwa Athya Watha Marwa Tuwab Hada Bar Asherah Debartha La Aishwath, verse 15. Wa Kwak Ath Ra'asha Shabatyakam Nashim Kakumyam Wayadayam Wa Thun Awa Thum Ra'ashim Alyakam Sharia Lapyam Washaria Ma'awath Washaria Kamashim Washaria I Sharath Washa Taryam Lasha Batjakam, verse 16. Wa'ath Shapatjakam Ba'aith Hahawa'a La'amar Shemai Bunyan Salat Bayan Akyakam Washa Patam Tazadak Bayan Ayash Bawa Salat Waba Yam Akyawa Waba Yan Garwa, verse 17. La'a Thaka Yarwa Panyam Bama Shapat Ka Kakwa Tun Kaga Dol Thasha Maiwan La'a Thaga Warrior Salak Thaka Warwa Mapanya Ayash Kya Hama Shapat La'alahayim Hawa'a Wahada Bar Ashara Yakwa Shah Makam Thakwa Rabwan Oya Washama Aithua, verse 18. Wa'a Tazawa Athkam Ba'aith Hawa'a Athkol Hadabaryam Ashara the Aishwan, verse 19. Wana Sai Makarab Wana Lakath Ko Hamadabar Haga Dowo Wahana wa Ra Hahawa'a Ashara Ra'aya Thum the Rock Har Maria, Ka'ashira, Tazawa, Yahweh, Alahayanawa, Athnawa, Wana Ba'am, Aid, Kodash, Bara 9, verse 20. Wa Amar, Alkam, Ba'a, Thum, Aid, Har, Ha'amaria, Ashira, Yahweh, Alahayanawa, Nathan, Lanawa, verse 21. Ra'ah, Nathan, Yahweh, Alahayaka, La Panyaka, Ath, Ha'aratiza, Ayallah, Rash, Ka'ashira, Dabar, Yahweh, Alhaya, Bathyaka, Laka, Ol, Thayara'a, Wa'ol, Thakath. Verse 22. Wathakwa, Rabwan, Olya, Kolkum, Watha Amarwa, Nashalaka, Anashim, Lapunyanawa, Wayaka Parwa, Lanawa, Ath Ha'aratiza, Wayashabwa, Athnawa, Dabar Ath Hada Rak Ashra Na Ailah Baha Wa Ath Ha'aryam Ashra Na Ba'a Allah Salak Allah Hun, verse 23. Waya Yatab Ba'ayanya Hada Bar Wa Ad La Shabbat, verse 24. Waya Punwa Waya Ilwa Hahara Waya Ba'awa Aid Nicole Ashakol Waya Gol Atha. So like Wayara Golwa Atha. Verse 25. Waya Kwakwa Baya Dum Maparia Ha'aratiza Waya Radwa Olyanawa Waya Shabwa Athnawa Dabar Waya Amarwa Tawaba Ha'aratiza Ashira Yahweh Alahayanawa Nathan Lanawa. Verse 26. Wala'a abaya thum la ailath watha marwa ath priya Yahweh alahayakam. Verse 27. Watha ragunwa baha slak ba'ahoyakam watha amarwa basha na'ath Yahweh athnawa hawa taza yanawa ma'aratiza matazarium lathath Athnawa, Dabar, Salak, Bayad, Ha'amaria, Lahasha, Mayadnawa, verse 28. Ana, Anak, Nawa, Alya, Salak, Alyam, Akyanawa, Hamaswa, Ath, Lababnawa, La'amar, Aim, Gada Wo, Waram, Mama Nawa, Aryam, Gada Lath, Wabataza, Warath, Basha, Mayim, Wagum, Bunyam, Ma'ai Nakwayam, Salak, Ma'ai Nakwayam, Ra'ayanawa, Shum. Interesting word. 29. Wa Amar, Olyakam, La'a, Tha'ir, Tazawan, Wa La'a, Thaya Ranawa, Salak, Tha'arawan, Mahum, verse 30. Yahweh alahayakam hahalak lapunyakam hawa'a ya lakam kako ashira aisha athkam bama tazarium la'ayan so like la'ayan yakam. Verse 31. Following. So verse 31, Wama Salak Waba Madabar Ashira Ra'a Yatha Ashira Nash Aka Yahweh Alahayakam Aka Ashira Yasha Ayash Ath Bunwa Bako Hada Rak Ashira Halaktham Aid Ba'akam Aid Hamakwum Hazar, verse 32. Wadabar Hazar a Yankam Ma'amyanum by Yahweh Alahayakam, verse 33. Hahalak Lapunyakam Badarak Latha War Lakam Makwawum Laka Nathkam Ba'ash la Yalah, Lara Athkam, Bada Rak Ashra, La Thalakwa, Baha, Waba'ainan, Yawa Mum. Verse 34. Wayashema Yahawa Ath, Kwawol, Debar Yakam, Wayakwatazap, Wayashabai, Lamar. Verse 35. Yara Ayash, Nashim, Salak Ha'oha, Hada War, Harai, Hazah Ath, Ha'arataza, Hata Waba, Asharam, Nashabaithia, Lathath, Bathikam, verse 36. Zawa Lathia, La Kalabun, Yapa Na, Hawa'a, Yara Na, Walawa, Anath Ath Ha'arataza, Asherah, Darak, Buha, Wala Bunyawa, Ya'ain, Asherah, Malah, Akaria, Yahweh, verse 37. Gum, Bayah, Hatha, Nap, Yahweh, Baga, Lokam, La'amar, Gum, Athar, La'ah, Thaba'ah, Shum, verse 38. Yahweh Shai, Bun, Nawum, Ha'ai, Mad, Lapanyaka, Hawa'a, Yaba'a, Shema, Athwa, Kazak, Kaya, Hawa'a, Yana, Kolna, Ath, Yasha'ala, verse 39. Watapkam, Asherah, Amartham, Labaz, Yahya, Wabunyakam, Asherah, La'a, Yadaiwa, Hayawum, Tawab, Warai, Hama, Yaba'awa, Shama, Wala Hum, Athana, Wahum, Yayarashwa, verse 40. Wa Athum, Punwa, Lakum, Wasaiwa, Hamadaba, Ra, Darak, Yum Sawap, verse 41. Watha Ainwa, Watha Amarwa, Olya, Katanawa, Laihawa, Anaknawa, Na'ila, Wana Lak, Salak, Wana Lakumnawa, Kako, Ashira, Tazawanawa, Yahawa, Alahayanawa, Wathakagarwa, Ayash Ath, Kolya, Mala Kamathwa, Wathayanawa, La'ilath, Hahara, verse 42. Waya Amar, Yahawa, Olya, Amar, Lahum, La'a, Ta'ilwa, Wala'a, Tala Kamwa, Kiya, Ayananya, Bakurabkam, Wala'a, Thana Gapwa, Lapanya, Yabyakam, verse 43. Wa Adabar, Alyakam, Wala'a, Shemaitham, Watha Marwa, Ath, Piya, Yahweh, Watha Zadwa, Watha Ilwa, Hahara, verse 44. Waya Tazar, Maria, Haya Shab, Haya Shab, Bahar, Hahawa'a, Lakwa Ra'athkam, Waya Salak, Waya Radapwa, Athkam, Ka'ashara, Tha'aishana, Hada Rabium, Waya Kathwa, Athkam, Basha Ayar, Aid, Kara Ma. Verse 45. Watha Shabwa, Watha Bakwa, Lapanya, Yahweh, Wala'a, Shema, Yahweh, Bakwolkum, Wala'a, Ha'aza Yun, Olyakam, verse 46, last verse. Watha Shabwa, Bakwa Dash, Yawumyum, Rabyum, Kayumyum, Ashra, Yashabtham. All right. So now let's go into the English.
That means sit, right?
Yeah. Shabwa, be seated. All right. So. All right. Give me 1 second here. Oh man, it's not giving me what I want. All right. Now we're gonna go to Deuteronomy 1:1. I keep doing this.
We got a website. I can see that.
See what?
You just read in Hebrew.
There is a website that you can read in Hebrew.
Okay, give it to me if you want to read. There's Psalm 119.
Have we gone through Psalm
Have
1?
you read it in Hebrew?
For the Sabbath service, I don't know if I read it in Hebrew for the Sabbath service.
Maybe y'all?
I can't remember.
My mom has me to read that in English. I just read.
All right. So we're in Deuteronomy, first chapter, the first verse. Right. So Deuteronomy, is known as the second law. Various laws that's in here, along with some other history on our migration, which we're about to get into, and how the Most High has divided up nations and their lands and their lots, right? So, I know this verse, Deuteronomy 1:1, is one of those verses that we use, or I know I use personally when we're going through the curses put upon Israel when you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, because Deuteronomy 28th chapter, the audience is what we're reading here in Deuteronomy 1:1, right? So Deuteronomy 1:1 says, "These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness in the plain over against the Tophel, Laban, and Hezerah, and Desahab, or Zuph," right? So the first portion of this is, who is he talking to, right? So when it says, "These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel," now we know that the audience of all the curses and the history and everything that's pertaining to it is the Most High speaking to Israel through Moses, right? So when everything that we're reading, when you read this book, is not pertaining to any other nation, because it starts off right in letting you know, these be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel. It didn't say he spoke to all Israel and the Egyptians and the Moabites and the Japhetic people or whatever. It's Israel who's now migrating through the wilderness, coming from the Red Sea onto a certain side of the Jordan River, right? And it gives you the areas that's being described over there in that region. Right. So now I tried to get a map here. So Yawakanan, if you can, turn that TV on. Oh, Paquat. Oh, you got it? You need to take some and leave or something. No, turn. Hit the button on the top.
Number 3.
Yeah, just hit the button. Power on.
Doing it.
Actually, that's not what I wanted to do. Give me 1 second. Those who's watching and listening on the live stream, I'm trying to see if I can.
Can I talk to you while you're doing it?
Get this set up here.
Here's a question. You notice they changed the names of the places as it was back then with Moses. Yeah, they changed the names of them. They not named about the same. Some of them are, and some of them not, right? Like to try to like Jerusalem, still Jerusalem in Israel.
Right, but those names wasn't there before we got there, right? So the same way those names aren't the same from when they were in ancient times, they change over time, over periods. I'm pretty much sure that the names were something else. So the names of the lands is going to be named by the people who conquer, who inhabit it, who take over it. Okay. Right? They divide it up and they name it there.
I'm trying to tell my man that. Yeah. I say, because North Philly was named North Philly.
Right.
Back in back in time.
Right.
When they came over and took everything like the Indians was here, I'm sure this one named Pennsylvania right here. It probably wasn't even shaped like this, because you know how everything is square box. Besides Texas is the biggest one.
Right.
I know Texas, that wasn't even probably the name of that down there. And you probably won't find a map like that. No, I think my teacher had one down Waycross, Georgia, and we was at a meeting and they took it out of the PTA meeting. They didn't want nobody to see it.
Oh, man.
I was in school though, but I said, why don't want to see that? And my grandmother told me on the way back home, she said, Mercy, because that's what the United States was before these crackers came over here, and changed everything.
Give me 1 second.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm going to try to see if I can share this.
So they killed the Indians. We talk about the people who was here way back then. If you go to, when Moses was talking to Jesus, God on the mountain, let's talk about this state, this continent right here. Was people living here then? I'm going too far. Should have been somebody over here, shouldn't it?
Oh, I'm trying to see if I can share my desktop. It don't give me the same.
Well, you did.
It don't give me the same.
Should have been people living here then.
Things as.
Let's hear it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they had everything mapped up. Like Florida wasn't named Florida.
Yeah, you can't share your desktop. Oh, that sucks. So I wanted to share my desktop for those who are watching online, live stream, but it doesn't seem to give me yeah, I can't do it. At least I can't see it. But so yeah, when it goes into, when it says in the Jordan wilderness on the plain over against the Red Sea between Paran, is now getting to, we're over in this area, right? Because here's a Jordan River that comes down. So then we're going to be over in this area and then migrating up into here. So when we read in Deuteronomy, the first chapter, it's going to start talking about our migration up into this area right here, right? Which is also known as Hebron, but it's given that name Dibon, right? So this is where, if you want to look at it like a geographical sense of what we're talking about, it's going to be in this area right here. All right.
We going to that mountain to talk to God.
Yeah. So salaka to those who watching on the live stream. I can't figure out what the new way YouTube's done it to share the screen so everybody can see it, but I'll try to work on that later on. All right. So moving on, it says there are 11 days journey from Horeb to the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea, right? So we know Mount Seir is over there where Edom lives. That's why I made sure we see that it says Edom here, and this is in that region. So Seir is in this area right here. Now in the future, the Most High had given us the land of Canaan, but he also gave the other nations their lands that they're supposed to dwell in, right? So again, it says in verse 2, there are 11 days journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea. And it came to pass in the 40th year in the 11th month on the first day of the month that Moses spake unto the children of Israel according to all that the Lord had given him in commandment unto them, right? So now it says in the 40th year, right? The 40th year is dealing with what?
Walking.
After the
Generation dying off, and the new generation coming, right?
After the wandering in the wilderness of 40 years, right?
Right. That's our 40 years of wandering around in the wilderness. The Most High was going to weed us out coming out of Egypt, right? So write down Numbers, the 14th chapter.
Okay, just go to verse 4.
Yep.
And put Numbers, right? Number who?
Numbers, the 14th chapter.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. All right. What verse?
14 and 33.
Now read.
Come.
No address 33:14. Stop it now. Come. Y'all with me? Okay, and Numbers chapter 14, verse 33. And your children shall wander in the wilderness for 40 years, and bear your whoredom until your carcass be wasted in the wilderness.
Keep going.
After the numbers of the days in which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day of a year,
4.
each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my branch of promise,
Breach.
my breach of promise.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 35. I, the power, have said, I will surely do it unto all this evil congregation that are gathered together against me in this wilderness. They shall be consumed, and there they shall die.
Right. So this is now the Lord speaking to the men that came out of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He said, for every year that y'all went and sent spies out to search the land, and then y'all came back and brought an evil report, right? That's the line of time y'all going to be wandering around in this wilderness 40 years. And in that wilderness, you're going to die. You're going to be consumed in that wilderness, right? So now when we get to the 40th year that we're reading here in Deuteronomy 1:1, is getting into the end of that time period, because now we're about to start having our migration into the Holy Land. So men have already started dying off. People have started falling off. And the children now that came up out of Egypt with their parents, they're the ones that's going to now enter into the Holy Land, right? They're the ones that's going to make that migration in. They were not the ones who made a decision back when they came out of Egypt. It was their parents. But the Most High is going to allow the children to enter in. 40 years in, let's go back to Deuteronomy. So I'm going to read verse 3 again. So it says, and it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spake unto the children of Israel according unto all that the Lord had given him in commandment unto them. After he had slain Sihon, the king of the Amorites, which dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, which dwelt in Ashtoreth in Edrea, right? So that's something that we read back in Numbers. You want to just write down a little bit of history. Numbers, the 21st chapter, starting at 21.
21.
Numbers 21:21.
Want to go there?
No, you can write it down. All the way to 6.
Mm-hmm.
So for verse 4, you can write down Numbers 21 to 26. And that goes into what we read before, previously when we was in Numbers, about when the Most High and our travels, we went and conquered and fought against the Hamites, right? So we had slain and killed them, right? So it says in verse 5, back in Deuteronomy, the first chapter, on this side Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare this law, saying, right? So now here it is. We're up in this region here, right? Because it says, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare this law. Verse 6, the Lord our power spake unto us in Horeb, saying, ye have dwelt long enough in this mount. Turn you and take your journey and go to the mount of the Amorites and unto all the places nigh thereunto, in the plain in the hills and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanites, and unto Lebanon, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. So he's talking about going into this region now, right? You was dwelling in that mount for a while. Now you got to go and make your migration to where the Amorites or the Canaanites are, and then start to conquer their land. Y'all Canaan.
What is the Vale? What is it, the valley or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. I'm gonna look it up and get the I see your hand.
This is a statement.
Go ahead.
I was looking at stuff on the phone about the 12 tribes traveling. It said it was like 2.6 million. Wow.
Estimated.
That's it. Okay, yeah.
Because remember, that's an estimate in the case of Most High said we can't be numbered. So to say it was 2.6 million, we don't know how many it was.
All right.
Right. That came out and that was a part of that.
Because the reason why I put that up, because they talk about, they walked through the Red Sea. It took them like, not a day, but it took them like hours and hours to get through there. That pillar of fire that was holding them back, that's all burning for hours and hours. And while they was back there, we talking about, not to say TV around here. And my man said, my God, they must got a, you shaking your head at me again. He said, my man said, they must have a hell of a God that's helping them out, because the land was dry, and to walk through there, and they were talking about the walls, you can see whatever was in there, like fish, if it was anything in there, you could actually see it. But I'm like, wow, that had to be, that got to be something. A one, the eighth wonder of the world and all that. That should have been one of the first ones. The plagues at the Pharaoh house. But they ain't want to believe that until you got a little deeper with it. Walking through the Red Sea, that probably was it right there. I mean, man, you crazy. You go get it. Right. I ain't going out there in all that water.
Right.
They must wasn't smart enough. I wouldn't have get a colonel, captain. You just going to have to shoot me, behead me or something.
Right, but the wonders of the world, remember, those are still standing. Like most people debate or, theorize of what's the scriptures.
Well, they got this about true right here, because the part that they were showing us that they went across, no, you got to go up further up the river. But they showed, and then that's when they found all the things they ride around, the horses, the chariots that they were standing on. That's where they found a lot of them in this one section. Not side by side, but you got to think about the water, the current, and in the Red Sea, it's like a still big pond, right? Or is water running through it? Like running water.
It's still a sea.
Like, it's a sea?
Yeah, it ain't no pond. It's still a sea. A big body of water. Look, you see it down here in the bottom.
That's it at the bottom?
Yeah.
I can't read that word from here.
Yeah.
But okay.
And that's just the top portion of the sea.
Yeah, because it done got deeper, when it comes to us doing something. Especially like that right there. To keep them people, that fire burned for hours, long time. But that's how many people went through there. I thought it was way more than that. And then they died off, as you just said right there. Then that new batch came. So if they was like 3 years old, he like 37 years old now. Walk desert.
Coming out. Yeah, he'd be 43.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he done made babies with one over there carrying that basket of bread all day. Right. Come on. They reproducing. I don't know how they got this. But they took breaks to stop. But go ahead, man.
All right. So back in Deuteronomy, we have I'm gonna read verse 7 again and we'll read on.
Okay. Verse 7 now. Okay.
So it says, turn you and take your journey and go to the mount of the Amorites and into all the places there are nigh thereto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale of valleys, and in the south, and by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanites, and unto Lebanon, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. So these are different areas in that region. Right. So the land of the Canaanites, right now we know it's pretty much predominantly Israel. Then it even talks about going as far over by Lebanon. Now Lebanon is still in that region where it is today. So over time, the name some names have stayed the same from back then. Others have changed, right? It says, verse 8, behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them, right? So this is what the Most High first promised to Abraham before Isaac and Jacob was born, that it would be a land for those that come of his seed. So now that seed has now procured. Now the righteous seed that the Lord wants to enter into the land is now here. And he's already consumed the majority of all of those that came out of Egypt that murmured against him, right? That did not follow his way. Pequot.
And you could write a reference to the promise the Most High made way in Genesis, chapter 12, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 12:7. You like to read that? What promise you made?
Genesis 12:7. And the Lord appeared unto Abraham and said unto thy seed, will I give this land? And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. So that's how the Most High came and appeared to him and told him that he would give him that land. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west. Right, so that's the promise. The Most High promised that he would give all this land that he's talking about. He was already promised that he would give them, and that's the reference.
You could also write to go with that 17, Genesis 17, verses 7 to 8. Genesis 17, 7 and 8, where it says, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God, right? So the land, even though we don't physically possess it now, it's still rightfully ours, right? We're not there because of iniquity or transgressions against the Most High's law. So now he's allowed other nations to come in there and pollute it, dilute it, do everything that they're doing into it now, until the righteous seed then comes forth and then are able to go back in and set things aright with Christ and the angels and the rest of them in that day. All right.
And also Genesis 26, verse 3.
Genesis 26 and 3 also goes with verse 8. So now we're going to read on back in Deuteronomy, the 11th, first chapter. Now we have verse 9. So it says, and I spake unto you at that time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. The Lord your God have multiplied you, and behold, ye are as this day, Salah, ye are this day as the stars of heaven for a multitude, right? So Moses said back then, when we were coming out, that he said we wasn't able to bear us alone, meaning it was too many of us that he had to deal with all by himself, right?
Right.
You could write down Numbers, the 11th chapter. Moses, Numbers 11 and 10. So Numbers 11:10, it says, then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was greatly kindled. Moses also was displeased, And Moses said unto the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? And wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me? Have I conceived all this people? Have I gotten them that thou shouldest say unto me, carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the suckling child unto the land, which thou swearest unto their fathers? So do I now have to bear the burden of dealing with everything that's going on? This is too many. It's too much. What did I do to inherit this, right? Verse 13, when should I have flesh to give unto all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. So all their cries and their turnings, everything from the littlest thing to the greatest thing now comes to them. Oh, I ain't got enough food. Oh, this don't taste right. Or they like, why I gotta deal with this by myself? Verse 14, I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand, if I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness. So you got a lot of times where you got righteous men who, when they're going through certain things, they say, look, if you land this all upon me, Most High, just take me now. Like, it'd be better for me just to go right now. They're not going to go and commit suicide and say, you know what, this is too mommy. Like, people pop pills and say, all right, I'm out of here, I'm checking out. No, they're not doing that, because that would be wrong. So he said, listen, Most High, you do it, because we are all on borrowed spirits from the Most High. So you see here, Moses is doing it. Job did it, right? You had, I forget the other man who said also, the Most High, if this is like this, just take me now. Like, I'd rather be taken up than to still have to come deal with this burden. So it says, verse 16.
Paul was like, cut me off.
Right. Verse 16, and the Lord said unto Moses, gather unto me 7 of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them. And they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. Right? So that's what the Lord did. He now had Moses go and raise up men to share the burden, to share the responsibility, right? And to make sure that they would do a good job. He said, I'm going to come down and I'm going to take the spirit that I put upon you, and I'm going to also add it upon these men as well, so that they could make, righteous decisions moving forward for Israel. So now let's go back to Deuteronomy. Where did I stop at? I stopped at verse
9.
No.
10.
I'm talking about the numbers.
17.
Also, you can reference Genesis 28:14 about us being like a dust. Meaning,
Genesis 28.
28 and 14 will multiply like a dust. So you cannot count dust the same way the Most High said we cannot be measured a number. Try to count dust. So thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth. So dust cannot be counted. So it's the same way we spread all over the place like dust.
And today, that's why they always, I said it before, they used to come down to Pride, y'all know about yours. They used to come down here and ask white people with a clipboard, how many people live in there?
The census.
12.
Talking about the census.
Yeah. 12. She got about from here to that bathroom. They keep up with us though.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't count us.
Right.
That's why we got Social Security numbers. To keep up with us.
But even, I mean, the thing is to try to do it, but they're not gonna be able to go to every, especially like if you're in certain areas in the projects and you're in certain areas in the hood, you're gonna come to someone's house and say, how many people you got in hand? So who the heck is you?
12.
Yeah, you're gonna give them some random number,
Yeah.
or they're gonna be too afraid to even go there. They're gonna just start estimating. It's about 4 in there, it's about 5 in there. I'm getting out of here. I ain't going to go up in there, right? Then you got certain places where Israel is that people ain't going to make it to. Like you're talking about the fires is born out, burning in the Amazon forest down in Brazil. You got some of our people that's living in there.
Very right.
Who knows how many is in there, right? They can estimate. So yeah, it's about 12,000 in there. They don't know. It could be 15,000. It could be 20,000. They don't know exactly what it is. You got certain places that they just won't even recognize that we are Israel, right? So they're saying, okay, this is the Negroes over here, but they're not looking at it from a nation perspective. How many of us make up the nation of Israel? Right. So that's when you look at the continent of South America, you look at how many of us here in North America, you look at the Caribbean, you look at how many of us are spread out throughout Europe. You got some of us spread throughout the United Kingdom. You got some of us over in Asia, right? We spread all throughout the earth, right? So to say, hey, this is the amount of people that's make up the nation, or not. Even in the tribes, you're going to have estimates just for the tribes alone, right? You're not going to be able to determine it. Especially right now, we don't even classify ourselves by our tribal names, right? We're American, we're this, we're that. You don't determine or classify yourself by your original name. So they'll never be able to get to determine who's who, right? Only the Most High will be able to do that, and it will be revealed in that day.
Also, I was going to read Exodus 18, verse 13 and 14. Moses is talking about, but the people is too much for him, right?
Right.
Exodus 18 and 13. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee? And Moses said unto the Lord, because the people come unto me to inquire of God. Verse 16, when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws.
Yeah, that's like going to court.
Verse 17, and Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Verse 18, thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee, thou art not able to perform it thyself alone.
Keep going. Jump 21.
Jump 21.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s and rulers of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee.
Right. So now when it comes to order, Jethro knew. He was like, yo, if you deal with this all by yourself, you're going to wither away. You're going to die soon, right? Because you ain't going to have no time for anything. You're going to be hearing matters all day long. Get these brothers, right, who are righteous men, who know how to judge, right? And let them take care of a lot of these small matters. The big matters, you deal with. That pertain to the nation, you handle that. Because you're going to now go between the Most High and the Most High give you instruction. But these other small matters, you ain't got to go be meddling with those things. So that's kind of almost similar how you say Esau has a structure where you got a little bit of civil courts here. This guy stole my car. He's saying he ain't sell my car. This one stole my bike, but he didn't want to give me the money. So let them deal with that. But when you go up to the Supreme Court deal with the issues that's going to deal with what's going to set a precedence over the whole country. Right. So let these top judges deal with that. But let, your little civil court judges and lawyers handle those things. So this is kind of what the Most High allowed Moses, with guidance from his father-in-law, to establish within Israel at that time. Right.
It comes from that verse you were talking about earlier.
Right. Same thing. Right. Sharing the wealth here. as far as for judgment making. So now going back to Deuteronomy 1. And we at 11 now.
Mm-hmm.
It says, the Lord power of your fathers make you 1,000 times so many more as ye are, and bless you as he have promised, talking about how great the nation is going to be, right? It's going to be able to multiply 1,000 times over. Verse 12, how can I myself alone bear your and your burden and your strife, right? If you so many, if you that, how can I, one person, deal with that? Verse 13, take ye wise men and understanding and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. So that's what we just read in Exodus 18. And ye answered me and said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. It makes sense. All right, we'll do that, right? Because you can't do it all yourself, Moses. All right, we'll get some men. Verse, so I took the chief of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, captains over 50s and captains over 10s, and officers among your tribes, right? So this is what you'll see with certain camps. You know, they'll give them those same titles where they'll be officers, you know, over hundreds, over thousands, and so forth and so on, especially when their camps are very big, right? So one person who's probably deemed as the elder, right, it's going to be hard and difficult for him to deal with all those matters with all these different brothers and sisters, especially scattered throughout the country, right? So he's like, look, I'm going to stop. Wisdom says to establish this right here, where we now start having some who's over 10, who's over 50, 100, thousands, 10,000, so forth and so on, so that they can now start handling the burden of presiding over the nation. Verse 16, and I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is within him, or that is with him, right? So now we read just earlier that this is all Israel. These be the words which Moses spake to all Israel. But then it's, right, it was strangers there too. But that's not what it's talking about, that it had to be strangers there too. Remember, the law had to stand the test of time, right? The law had to stand the test of time so that when you do get into the land, right, and you do set up these men, right, they're not just going to be judging over Israel. You're going to have some Hamites that's dwelling in the land, and you're going to say, okay, well, they up under us, but we can't deal with them because they Hamites. No, that's our land, right? So now we're going to have the law make matters or deal with matters that's going to deal with Israel, and it's going to deal with the stranger that is within us. So the law wasn't just going to be established for just then. It was going to be established for the long haul, right? The same way how when you read during the time of Joshua, when they went to conquer and they made that pact, that oath with them Hamites, and they said, oh, we ain't going to be able to kill them. We made a pact. Now they dwelling amongst us. So now when something happens with them within Israel, somebody got to go and make a decision. Well, this law now established, or this ordinance established that hierarchy, the people, and the circumstance on how you judge or deal with people, the nation and the stranger. Right, exactly, because they're dwelling within us. You know, it's like, you know, that saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans, right? So now when you in Israel, you got to follow our law. You got to follow our culture, follow our tradition. If not, you know, if you see some people when they go over in certain lands, right, and you don't abide by their culture, some, you know, women will have, some nations will have a custom of how women's supposed to be covered up. But then you come in with a Western mentality going over to the Eastern place, and then you got you know, tube top on, Daisy Dukes on. They're looking like, yo, what's this? Right? So much so that the kids, they like shocked. The parents is like, you know, they're on 10. Then you're gonna start seeing over time, people gonna start picking up rocks and throwing it at you. Like, listen, that's disrespectful. Yeah, like, get that out of here. Now you're getting pelted with rocks, and you feeling that, you know, you so independent because we're a little bit, you know, lax over here. But over there, they follow according to their culture and their tradition. So you got to adapt to that. So the stranger would have to follow the laws of the Most High as well.
Even the president's wife, you know, when they go to certain countries, the women, they have to cover their heads.
Right. Yep.
You know, like, you got to go cover your head.
Right.
Like, wow. You know?
That's why sometimes when you look at like the over in England with what's this woman who just married the prince? I forget that Markle.
Markle, yeah.
Yeah, and the tradition has already been set, but they're kind of like breaking tradition by some of the things that she does or some of the things that she wears. Like they're going against tradition.
You ain't wearing that, girl.
Right. Or like now because she's married into the royal family, there's certain things that she can and can't do. But she breaks that rule because now she's of the younger generation, right? And they'll bring it out. It's like, oh no, she shook hands with such and such. That's not allowed. It's forbidden that you shake hands or that you even come and hug someone. Well, she grew up in that. She's coming learning this one, and they're like, oh no, that's forbidden. But they didn't say anything, and it's like a big, moment because of tradition and how that's being violated.
True.
With this, the Most High was not bending to allow, someone else coming and defaming or defiling our customs and laws.
And I'm going to bring it to y'all. In the movie Vikings and Game of Thrones, they got certain things when a king or queen come over into their house. We don't allow that here.
All right. I ain't get to yet. I'm about to read it now.
Where we at? Verse 17?
Verse 17.
Okay.
It says, ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. So now as he established these different men to be judges and rulers, captains over the people, he's now got to hear the big ones as well as the small, and don't be afraid of who it is that you're talking to.
Right.
Because the judgment is not yours, it's the Most High's, right? So you can't look at it upon, your relationship with a certain individual, and then you start catering to or giving into what they want to do. Or nah, this is the Most High's decision. So you got to stand the course. Don't be afraid of the consequences that come with making a decision. So you got to make righteous judgment and don't have respect of persons, right? You know him, but you don't know her, but you know that he was wrong in how he dealt with her. But because y'all cool, you rule in his favor. You can't do that, right? Write down Leviticus. The 19th chapter. So this is verse 17.
We gonna read this one?
Yep. 19 and 15. 15.
Ready?
Go
Leviticus 19:15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
Right. So you should not respect, thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. Right. So now, because the person is poor and he's done wrong, you say, oh, you know what? Let him slide, man. Let him go. No, you can't respect that person or give in to that person because he's lacking and you say, okay, let it go. Or a person is so honored and rich and you let that person go because he has a lot of money, which is what society is built upon, right? If you got a lot of money and you could pay your way out, all right, you good, right? You good, right? But you can't do it on either side. You can't show favor to either one. You got to go right down the middle. Follow according to the Lord's will, and that's how we're supposed to judge between our neighbors.
And also, even we might fall into that category of being, this is my people.
Yeah.
And I gotta look out for my people first.
That's my cousin.
But we can't think like that when it comes to righteous judgment. It could be your people, it could be the other nation. Right? Yes, you gotta look for your people righteously.
Yeah.
At the same time, when it comes to a matter that has to deal with matters of law, regardless if it's your people, regardless if it's another nation, you gotta judge righteously. You can't lean on any side, either right or left. Judgment is judgment. based on law,
Right.
regardless of who you talk about. Sometimes we tend to to lean towards our people, but our people could be wrong or they could be right.
Mm-hmm.
Judgment is judgment. Judgment gotta be on the righteous side.
Yeah. Sometimes, like sometimes some of our people can be judges, right? And if you make a judgment, sometimes even the bail, I think the smallest bail you can give somebody maybe like $200, something like that. Because sometimes they set the bail or whatever they want to do. But sometimes I heard some judge was when it comes to like our people, they were giving the person the lowest bail possible.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to give legal. But it's legally you can give a $50, $200 bail.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes Esau make a like $1,000 bail or $10,000 bail. But the minimum, but there is a minimum that you can bail for our people.
Mm-hmm.
And some judges might even utilize that according to law. So somebody can say, oh, he did a murder, whatever, $200 bail.
Mm-hmm.
And he can easily bail himself out, but somebody can easily bail him out, for that.
Right. So what that means is the law is subjective then. It's not objective. Because now if you have a sliding scale, the person who's sitting on the bench can arbitrarily pick and choose what he thinks the bail should be. Now it becomes subjective. He could have woke up and had a bad day today, right? It's like, you know what? Everybody's getting a $10,000 bail today, right? And all of a sudden, look, he just got married, just came off his honeymoon. He's feeling great. $200, everybody, right? Now it's become subjective, right? Whereas the Most High is like, no, the law is the law. If this person does this, this is what has to happen. So that's why I read before, this is not your law, it's God's law, right? So let his law stand based on what the situation is, and you read on that, and it doesn't become subjective to me, right?
And being a judge, me personally, based on law, it shouldn't be a matter where you get paid to do the job. But it should be based on, community. You let's say you volunteer to be a judge. And it's not like a job you're getting paid money for, because when money is involved, anybody can get, bribe or get payoff to get, judgment based on one side or the other.
Right.
So if you're a community leader, you want to become a judge, it shouldn't be a paid job. It's something that you decide that you want to volunteer to do, but not based on a salary,
right.
Or based on, people paying you to get the job.
That's where the line becomes a bit gray when you have people who are in position of power. When they start passing laws and they start having invested interests in certain companies and things that they setting up, where as a judge, you may say, okay, fine. If you give me so many of these criminals, I'm gonna lock them up. Right? I'm throwing them in jail. Right? What is that doing? Because for each person that gets locked up in jail, that's like, at one point it was like $35,000 a year a person. Probably is going up now, right? So those are private companies. Right? Those are private institutions. So what now you're doing is you making money for somebody else. Now that person who's now getting all these inmates is now going to also get kickbacks to you as the person who's allowing that to happen. That's what you've seen over the years, where certain judges have been exposed for taking or doing just that, putting in criminals in prison for like small cases, but just to get them in there, right? But them and the prosecutor and the person who's running a private corporation in the prison system are all in cahoots, right? It just takes somebody to put the dots together, and that's happened where they said, "Oh, look, I'm looking at these cases here, and you've locked up a lot of these minorities for these and just frivolous cases, but the same people over here, they got a pass. But why are all these people getting locked up? And what is your relationship with him, right?" And that's where people start paying attention to what happens in these entities with different individuals, because sometimes it's both hands washing each other, but one hand washing the other, but they both wiping the face, right? Where they taking care of their vested interests. So you'll see people who are in political power or position of power, like when they get out of office, watch what they do when they get out of office. Where do they go? Who hires them? Right? Right. Who hires them? And when you go backwards, you say, well, okay, he's working for that company, But let me go back when he was in office and see the legislations and the laws and things that he was passing, and who did it benefit, right? Now it benefited, and now I'm giving you a seat at the table because you helped us out, right? That's what happens. So now you've been impartial in your decision making because you favored one over the other, right? We can't do that, right? It tells you, the scriptures tell you, gift taking a bribe, you taking a gift, it destroyed your whole decision making now. It's tampered it, right? So now you're not a viable source. You got to be removed out of the way.
I used to work at a company where the manager used to receive gifts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gets the gifts, then guess what he does?
What?
He line them up on his cubicle. He never take them home. All the gifts you give him, he just living right there at the job.
Mm-hmm.
He don't tell you, I don't want it. Oh, okay, that's nice. He put it right there. So when he's, giving judgment or give final reviews, you don't look at your gift because he never take your gift home. He's right there.
All right. If you want it, you can take it back.
You can take it back home with you because he never take them home with. Right. He just line it up so everybody can see all the gifts you get. But his judgment does not rely on the gift that you give.
Well, his righteous do.
But some judges get like I heard like in Brazil, like something they would do a righteous judgment, and sometimes people would go to their houses and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
But for righteous judgment? Yeah, but they told him to make him guilty, and you let him go free.
Right.
So we gonna kill
I'm
you,
saying sometimes,
or vice versa.
But I'm saying sometimes your judges look, I uphold this law,
right?
And so on and so forth.
Right.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to sentence.
Yeah, that's not even in.
And then
that's here. That's in this country. Everywhere it does that.
But I'm saying, and do people go to their house?
Yeah. Yeah. That's here. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. That's like somebody who's up for murder, and they'll say, okay, yeah, there's a witness who saw it, and they're going to be the plan and trial to convict this person for doing the crime. And you'll see a mafia mob or some interest is like, all right, we got to kill him so that they never make it to court, right? To make a righteous decision. And so we're going to go take him out. So now you're getting protective custody, so nobody finds you or whatever to make a righteous decision before standing. That's normal. Yeah.
Even for the judges, sometimes they get
20 years ago in Mexico, they was trying to knock up the drug dealers, and they came and shot the whole courtroom up. The judge and everybody because they were trying to knock up the drug dealers.
All right. So if ain't nobody there, ain't nobody left to go and make that decision to testify. Hey, right? And not only is it that nobody's left, right? Because what that does is that puts fear in whoever's coming behind them to now take that same case, right? It's like you seen what happened to them. Do you want to now make the same thing? It's like, all right, no, there's not enough evidence here. It's going. They be like, what? It's like, listen, it's done. I got to live tomorrow. I got a family at home. I want to continue on, right?
Also, Proverbs 24, verse 23.
Proverbs 24 and 23.
Right, so it's like if you're gonna be a judge, whether it's in Israel, it's you can't be afraid to die. You can't be afraid of death or repercussion what people might do, because it comes with the job.
Right.
As long as you give right judgment, your protection is with the Most High and nothing else.
Right. Mm-hmm. You could also write down Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 18 to 20. Deuteronomy 16, 18 to 20. I'm going to read it real quick. It says, judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Verse 19, thou shalt not wrest judgment or wrestle with judgment, meaning going back and forth on judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, same thing that we read, or give, leverage to certain individuals because of your relationships. It says, neither take a gift, what we just talked about with Pakra. For a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. So now it says, don't even take the gift, right? So in this sense, he didn't hold it to heart, but some people will come and give you a gift. No, that's fine, thank you, but I don't even want it, right? You shouldn't even take the gift, right? I know certain, like with political figures, like people who are in government, they can only take a certain amount of money from regular civilians. They're only allowed to get a certain amount. I think it's like $20. Whatever it is, gift that you receive, they allow you to give a gift up to $20. You could pay for somebody's meal up to $20. You could pay up to a certain amount. Here, the Most High said, you ain't taking nothing, right? If you in this position, if you are a judge, an officer, a person who's now over the people, you can't take no gift.
So the president ain't no good. He only make $40,000. Rich as he can.
Right.
I know he's taking every day.
Right.
So they don't really need no president. Because the other people want to make the calls.
But that's but that goes into like how we talking about captains over hundreds. Right. You got city officials, your mayors, you got your councils in the city. You got other people who are in, like you may have a township, you may have a board that's sitting in the school system, right? The board of directors or for the board of education. Now you set the board of education, and that's corrupt. Because you go and see in different cities where people who are in the board of education and they get funding from the government. And what do? And now they're supposed to take that money and go and distribute it and do something right for their community, their school system. Then you go back and you start looking at the books and you're like, yo, where all that money went? Right? Where all that money went? But now I see y'all written the books over here that y'all went on this doggone teachers convention in Italy. What the hell y'all had to go to Italy to have a teachers convention for? Right? And y'all ain't got no books in 3rd grade. What the heck is going on here? Right? So the corruptness goes a little bit deeper, right? So it starts with just making sure that you never side to the left, you never side to the right, you just stay in the course in the middle. And don't take no bribes and take no gifts, whatever, right? Somebody can give you a compliment and say, yo, you a good judge. All right, I'll take that. But as far as for a monetary gift or a physical, no, I'm not taking it, right? Because it's not going to pervert my judgment, because that's what the Most High has made me responsible for.
And even also certain department or government, whatever, they get X amount of money, but if they don't use it, they're going to get less the next time. Mm-hmm. So whatever, they have to use up the money for whatever,
Come. And then last one, James 2:1.
That was Deuteronomy 19.
That was Deuteronomy 16, 18-20. And now I'm going to give Deuteronomy James, the water. 2:1-2.
2:1.
Oh,
James. Actually, 2:1-4. I'm gonna stop at 4. So James 2:1.
Okay.
It says, my brethren, have not the faith of the Lord Yahushua, Hamashiach Yahushua, the Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons. So you can't be in the truth and have respect of persons, right? That's what it's talking about. Have not the faith of our Lord with respect of persons. For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring and goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment, and ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool, are ye not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts, right? So you can't choose because this person looks like he has money, he has nice apparel on, right? Whereas the other person doesn't have much, and you sit this person based on the appearance in a nice location, and then the person who doesn't have or lacks somewhere else, not knowing what spirit that person is in just on the appearance, because he says he has on nice clothing, right? I'm gonna jump down to verse 9. It says, but if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin and are convinced of the law as transgressors, right? So if you have that in your mind to choose one over respect to persons, so now let's go back to Deuteronomy 1 and 17. Now we at 18. It says, and I commanded you at that time, all the things which you should do. And when we departed from Horeb, we went through all that great and terrible wilderness, which ye saw by the way of the mountain of the Amorites, as the Lord our power commanded us. And we came to Kadesh Barnea. And I said unto you, ye are come unto the mountain of the Amorites, which the Lord our power doth give unto us. Behold, the Lord thy power have set the land before thee. Go up and possess it, as the Lord power of thy fathers have said unto thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. Right? So the Lord is now through the wilderness coming across different nations, and the land which was already promised to us, the Most High has given us the green light to say go now and possess it, meaning to go and conquer, go to war with the inhabitants of those lands. Verse 22. And ye came near unto me, every one of you, and said, we will send men before us, and they shall search us out the land, and bring us word again by what way we must go up, and into what cities we shall come. And the saying pleased me well. And I took 12 men of you, one of a tribe, and they turned and went up into the mountain and came unto the valley of Eshcol, and searched it. 13th chapter.
One more time.
Numbers 13. 1. Actually, the 13th chapter as a whole, as it goes into what we're reading right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. That's what you read. That's just the location. Because verse 23, and they came unto the brook of Eshcol in Numbers 13. So that's what the Most High, when you read the first few verses, it talks about him choosing, like we read, how he chose 12 men of every tribe. That's what they're going into when you read from 13:1 all the way down to 16. He's choosing the men out of every tribe to go and start spying out the land. And then they went, and then it talks about them coming into the Hughes. They had to have 2 men to get the grapes. But then as they went on, they went and saw the inhabitants of the land. So they saw the Hamites, and the Hamites are tall individuals, like Manute Bol and all of them. And they was like, oh no, we can't take that land, right? They tried, we can't deal with them. So they went back and gave an evil report about what they saw to convince the people that they should not go up to the land that the Lord said was their land, right? That's what we're reading here in this storyline. So you could just write down Numbers the 13th chapter. I'm not going to go into it, but just reference it when we come back here to now verse 24. So verse 24 again, it says, and they turned and went up into the mountain and came unto the valley of Eshcol and searched it out. And they took of the fruit of the land in their hands, which is the grape, the cluster of grapes, and brought it us word again and said, it is a good land which the Lord our power doth give us. Verse 26, notwithstanding, ye would not go, but rebelled against the commandment of the Lord your power. And ye murmured in your tents and said, because the Lord hated us, he hath brought us forth out of the land of Egypt to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us, right? So that was now the word that everybody said when the report came back, right? Now go to Numbers 14.
Numbers 14.
Yeah, so this is with 27, Numbers 14. 1-4. It says, and all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore had the Lord brought us unto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us, what is not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, let us make a captain and let us return into Egypt. Right? So they said, look, forget Moses, man.
Right.
Forget all of what the Most High has used them for. We're going to choose out a new captain. We're going to get us a new Moses who's going to lead us back into Egypt,
That sound like people
back through the Red Sea, right? So this is what they now are choosing to want to do, to go backwards, right? So in this case, the Most High is upset. Shalom. The Most High is upset because he had already told them that this was going to be their land. This was going to be the opportunity for us to now inherit and fulfill the commandment that the Most High, or the promise that the Most High had given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So now this is what we're reading here in Deuteronomy. So now we're going to go jump back to Deuteronomy 1, and I'm going to read 27 again. How you doing, sis? What's your name? Rashonda. Nice to meet you. So now it says in verse 27, and ye murmured in your tents and said, because the Lord hated us, he had brought us forth out of the land of Egypt to deliver us unto the hand of the Amorites to destroy us. Whither shall we go up? Our brethren have discouraged our heart, saying, the people is greater and taller than we, right? So again, talking about the Hamites, the native indigenous Hamites, they are tall people, right? So now when they seen just that, it was like, nah, we can't deal with it. They're going to kill us all, right? So they discouraged the rest of the people from even going and fulfilling the Most High's commandment. The cities are great and walled up to heaven. And moreover, we have seen the sons of the Anakims there, right? So these are the giants that you read about. So they're like, we done seen their people, right? And they got walls huge. How we gonna conquer that? We can't. I see what the Most High doing. He try to bring us out here to kill us all. We need to leave, right? Verse 29. Then I said unto you, dread not or fear not, neither be afraid of them. The Lord your power, which goeth before you, he shall fight for you, according to all that he did for you in Egypt before your eyes. So the Lord said, don't worry about how big they are. Don't worry about how big their walls are, how it's fortified. Remember what I did for you when you was in Egypt? You forgot about that. Just like how Zakar talking about walking through the Red Sea and seeing the wall of water on both sides. You forgot how I did that. To this day, you hadn't heard or seen anyone do that, but I did that. You forgot how I turned the waters everywhere in the vessel, in the stream, in the pot, everything turned to blood. You forgot how I commanded the locusts to come and just eat everything, right? We forgot the frogs, the lice, right? You forgot the pitch black darkness. If anything, you can say, hey, Most High, make it all pitch black that they can't see anything, but we can see, and we're just going to go in there and start killing, right? No, they forgot what the Most High had done and listen to what these 12 men said and cause them to fear and not want to go in, right?
Even kill their firstborn.
Even kill their firstborn, which was one of the which was mighty, and how it was done, right? He didn't even have to physically have soldiers go out and did it. The Spirit just had it where each one died where they stat.
That's like in the scripture in 27 and 5, right? In Ecclesiasticus, the trial of man is in his reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes along with that. So whatever you think, if you think you lose already, you don't even have to worry about go fight physically because you already defeated before you start.
Right.
So they already thought that they could not, conquer our land.
Right.
So, there was no point of you even try to go in because they already defeated.
Right.
Beforehand.
Right.
So there's another scripture that said, whatever I forgot the.
So a man thinking, so is he.
So is he.
Right.
Right. So the fight is already won by them by having the fear.
Right. And it's so heavy because in that thinking, everything starts with your mind and the spirit, right? Even with somebody who has like an illness, cancer, such and such, right? If you are already thinking that you lose the battle, then your chances is very slim. Right? That's why they try to always make sure someone who's going through some type of an illness is upbeat. Keep your spirits up. Keep your spirits up. Because once your spirit go down and you go into a depression, that's it. You done.
Right. Because the fear already killed
you. Yeah.
Like they say, in the land of fear, right? Some already died. You already dead before your physical death.
Right.
You already dead spiritually. You dead before your physical death.
Yeah.
So you just here physically, but you dead already because you're fear.
Right. That's why the Lord had it where if you got fearful men, don't even take them out to war because they don't think they're gonna win the battle anyway. So don't even take them out. Right. What's the guy from what's that football team? The one who got was it Connecticut? I forget which one, but he was accused allowing some molestation or whatever. I think it was here in PA, somewhere in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Penn State.
Okay.
Yeah, him.
Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno.
He died.
He died. But now check out how he died, right? So the guy who was underneath him, he got convicted and went to prison, and they was holding Joe Paterno, because that was his team. He was working underneath him. Mm-hmm. So Joe Paterno, when they let him go, he died soon after, right? Because football was his thing, and now you take that away, you ain't got nothing else. And now you done. That's why the scripture says things written aforetime was written for our learning, that we might have hope. So our faith, our liveliness is in this, right? You take the job away, okay, you took the job away. You took my car away, you took my car away. You took my wife, okay, you took that away. As long as you still got faith in something that's going to be the outlook, then you're good. But if you put your hope and your trust in in all these different things, then you ain't going to last long.
I think you were saying about Tyson before he goes into when he goes in the ring or something like that. You check out his opponent.
Like he watched him, like even before the fight began, like soon as you walk into the ring, if you watch Tyson in the past and he walked to the ring and then he get in the ring, he was like, we watching him just for the littlest, inkling of them being shown fear. And he's like, once I see it in him, he was like, I already knew the fight was over. He's like, I know the fight's over. He's afraid, right? And that same mentality, like he mentioned, when you have that fear in you, the Lord said he never gave us a spirit of fear. That was never supposed to be in us. But, society, the world, Satan tempts us with that fear, right? Oh, you're afraid of this, or you're afraid of that. Well, I'm going to give you something. Then once your spirit is rattled, all right, I got him, right? Because now fear brings in doubt. Now what happened? Israel's like, "Whoa, we're afraid. We can't beat them Anakims. We can't beat them Amorites." So now what we going to say? Yo, the Lord out here to die. We're going to go back to Egypt. We're going to go back to Egypt because we're afraid right now. They ain't afraid of the Most High. They're afraid of those Anakims. Think about it. That's what happened.
That's why you see a lot of people, they die of heart attack and depression and things like that. People look at the symptoms of heart attack. But before the heart attack, the person had a lot of fear, a lot of worry, then those fear add up to depression. Right. And then it spread out of control. It's the fear. Fear is just fear. But when the fear stay constant and we become like a behavior pattern, and fear just, now you start feeling agitated in your body. Right, and you start feeling the discomfort. Yeah. And next thing you know, it's all add up, and that's how depression comes about. And then boom, a heart attack. But sometimes people show it, they don't show it, right, outward, but inside, emotionally, they have a lot of fear. And then that fear, translate into, heart attack.
These little prayers that Mom Khadijah gave me about what you're talking about, like having fear and all that right there. John 14:13. And whosoever ye ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. 14. If ye ask anything in my name, I will do it. Right.
Link that with always make sure you link that. Link that with 1 John 3:22.
1 John. Say again.
3 and 22. I believe it. Yeah, read that with if you ask the Father. Yeah. 1 John 3:22.
1 John 3:22.
See what that says.
And whosoever we ask,
That's it.
we receive of him. He kept his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight.
Right. So
right.
Now when you ask of him,
with
right, it says, because we kept his commandments and did the things that was pleasing
right.
in his sight, right? Which makes common sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's going to be difficult for a father or a parent with wisdom, with sense to say, my child or whoever it is keep asking me or stuff, but they ain't doing a damn thing that I'm telling them to do. They ain't doing nothing that's pleasing in my sight. Selling drugs, he out here shooting and doing all kind of things, raping women. Now he coming and saying, hey, Dad, can you help me out here? I need some money to go fix my car. What? Fix your car? So what? You can go out there and commit more iniquity and more? Hell no, I can't do that for you. No, you got to go. You got to go somewhere else, right? So when you do the Lord's will, when you do things that pleases him, he's more willing now to help you out for those things that you ask for. And it's time according to his discretion. But now to link up verse 30, where it says, and the Lord your power which goeth before you, he shall fight for you according to all that he did for you in Egypt before your eyes. Write down Exodus 14. Exodus 14. I'm gonna read 23 to 25 to give an example of how the Most High fought for us. 23 to 25.
You had a question back. You couldn't get it out. Young fellow.
I was just saying that what he said has nothing to do with fear.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was a sidebar. We're talking about as a sidebar.
It's good to know.
Right.
But it had nothing to do with it.
That will stop me from getting too fair.
What was stopping?
Like what you were saying before,
it will stop you from
it will lead you. You said that you had this and do you had it, but that prayer right there will keep me from getting it.
Okay.
I love it.
You look at it like that.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
keep these good ones in
you know that God's gonna protect you.
Yeah,
you ain't got no fear.
All right.
And if you do his commandments, he won't protect you.
He all right, man. He all right.
Okay, I understand.
You with me now?
I was
that was the quarterback. I get it to line screaming. I'm changing the whole thing.
You went ahead.
Exodus 14:23 says, and the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. 24. And it came to pass that in the morning watch, the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. Right. So now when they was getting over to the other side, the Most now said he looked through the chariots that he had there and seen what they was doing, and said, all right, now it's time to destroy them. So before the sea collapsed on them, he said he took off their wheels. He had their wheels pop off of all their chariots. So now they can't go nowhere. They stuck, right? And then Moses, take your staff, wave it over, and the thing closed over top of them. Right? So that's how you show the Most High fights for us. The same thing, you read later on how the Most High fought for Israel, where he sent the angels to go out and wipe away all the Assyrians at a certain period of time without Israel even going up and raising a sword.
So you can even think about now, right? For the average Black and Hispanic Native American, we're out there. We don't have any weapons per se. And look at these nations, and when you look at their military march, and they have all these weapons and tanks and nuclear stuff and all of that stuff, it's like, are we gonna take them down?
Right. Exactly. That's what you would think. In that day when it's like the world would come against us, it's like, dang, man, they got lasers and all kind of chemical weapons, and how are we going to fight against it? They got all kind of fighter jets. We standing here, they flying over. They can drop stuff down on you. How are we going to defend it? The Most High said, don't worry about that. I got that taken care of.
I say in Malachi 1:5, whatever they build, I will throw down.
Yeah. So you just got to have that faith That as you see it coming,
Mm-hmm.
like Most High got me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
As opposed to you changing the heart and said, man, I don't know about this. I'm out. You break. Once you did that, you not have just broken rank. You broke your faith.
Right.
Your faith got broken. And now once your faith get broken, you it's no defense. That's why when you look in the New Testament, for Israel just to be healed, what had to be set in stone? Your faith. Yahweh kept telling them, your faith healed you. Your faith healed you. Your faith healed you. You believed even when you believed just because I came by. You believed just because of who I was. Your faith healed you. And your faith can destroy you or the lack thereof. Right?
Even say, like, I'm misquoting it. Do you believe I can do this?
Mm-hmm.
And with the faith.
Yeah. That's it.
It says in Mark 11:24, therefore I say unto you, what things and whatsoever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them.
Mm-hmm.
That right there, what you talking about.
Yep.
My mother still gonna be my mother. You stay in this Bible, out of attention. I'm supposed to be dead twice. I'm talking about dead. You got beating God, you gonna wake up, I got busting here with shovel. I woke up, she cried. I said, what you crying for? She ain't slapping. She woke up with my foot fluffy hard. But hey, it is right here. It's right here.
Yep.
Well,
So back in Deuteronomy 1, we have verse 31 now. It says, and in the wilderness where thou hast seen how the Lord thy God bare thee, as a man doth bear his son, and all the way that ye went until ye came unto this place. Right? You could just write down quickly. We had
31. Okay,
31.
I had to turn my page back. 31. What do you say now? Or young brother? You say that 31.
Exodus 19,
Okay.
3 to 5. This is 31. 3 to 5. 3 to 5.
You do matter, sir. I mean, Ronnie, the bar. What's your name?
So Exodus 19 and 3, it says, and Moses went up to Yahweh, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Right? So if you just obey the voice, right. If I say go, right? And I'll take care of everything else. But you got to trust me. You got to believe in me. Especially everything that I've done in bringing you up on eagle's wings, right? Where you soar above everybody right now. Because we are a peculiar treasure to the Lord. All right, so now back in Deuteronomy 1:32. For you to search out a place to pitch your tents in, and fire by night to show you by what way you should go, and in a cloud by day. And the Lord heard the voice of your words and was wroth and sware, saying, surely there shall not one of these men of this evil generation see that good land which I swear to give unto your fathers. Save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, he shall see it, and to him will I give the land that he hath trodden upon, and to his children, because he hath wholly followed the Lord. Right? So it says here that the Most High said all those men of that evil generation was going to have to die, right? Because they didn't believe him, they didn't follow him. Right? It says, and the Lord was angry with me for your sake, saying, thou also shalt not go in thither. Now, this is Moses speaking, right? So he said, Caleb is going, right? Because he followed me wholly with a whole heart. But then he said, I can't even go, right? It says, but Joshua, the son of Nun, which standeth before thee, he shall go in thither. Encourage him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit it, right? So here it is, as Moses is now the voice of the Most High to Israel, and he's speaking and telling all the men of that generation, y'all ain't going in. Neither am I, right? Because of what he did or didn't do. Okay.
And the Most High recognized that he has doubted him, and you got to, go into the land and possess it. And the other brothers, the Most High know their heart. He knows that they were not afraid, and they were ready to go possess the land. So the Most High saw through all of that. Right? And as good as Moses was,
He had some flaw.
He had some flaw.
Right. That's why sometimes when you read about righteous men, right? Sometimes those who are held in a high regard, you sometimes forget that they also had or shared iniquity with others too, right? When we looked at or talked about when you read in Genesis what Judah did and how he went and lay with the harlot, right? And you're like, that's Judah. We Judites. So, I mean, it's in our blood, right? But no, that doesn't take away that was not right for him to do. But the problem comes in where sometimes when you see the actions of certain individuals and you don't always see the judgment that befell them for what they did, that seems, it appears that that's a license for others to follow in that same path, right? Like when Moses, when his brother and sister came to him, it was like, look at this woman that you married over here. What's up with that? You married, was she Egyptian or Ethiopian? I can't remember which one she was. It was Ethiopian. Numbers 12. Yeah. So now it's like, oh, well, ain't nothing wrong with it, right? Because I remember it was the brother at camp brought that up. He was like, look who Moses married, right? But he don't read in between the lines how they got on him about that. And then when they went a little bit too far, as far as for now that you done that, like who gave you license now that you need to be the ruler, the leader of the people? That's when the Most High was like, all right, you stepped above your grounds, above your, But a lot of times when you don't see that the Lord has it written where that individual did that and I got him and killed him or I gave him foot, then people was like, oh, I guess it must be. Nah, right? The Most High, it's implied. Certain things is already implied. It don't have to be explicit that says, and the Lord judged him and did such and such, right? So here, in this case, the Most High told them, y'all not going in for what y'all did and how y'all murmured against me, didn't believe me, didn't trust me. And you too, Moses, you didn't confirm that trust in the people. You yourself had some doubt. You yourself was kind of feeling some kind of way. So you can't go in and you didn't wholly follow me like Joshua and Caleb, right?
Like when they said they were gonna investigate, you said that was a good idea.
Also, because you used the rock, you struck the rock instead of talking to it.
That's not right. True. Exactly.
Oh, that was
one
of them.
That was major,
right? Okay.
So now.
Okay, never mind. That's quite wrong. Right.
So now let's go on. We have verse
38. Well, 39.
39.
You said,
right, you can, 39. It says, moreover, your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, and your children, which in that day had no knowledge between good and evil, they shall go in thither, and unto them will I give it, and they shall possess it, right? So it was them who they thought that the Most High was going to deliver as a prey, because they was going into a region where the Lord said, go take this land, and they thought that we was all going to die. They think they were going to have their children be taken for prey or taken as slaves or whatever. So the Lord said, because you thought that way, your children who you thought was going to be a prey, they're going to be the ones that's going to now inherit that land, where the rest of y'all not going to make it. Y'all going to die off in this wilderness. This is where y'all going to have y'all last breath. But verse 4. But as for you, turn you and take your journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. Then ye answered and said unto me, we have sinned against the Lord. We will go up and fight according to all that the Lord our power commanded us. And ye had girded up on every man his weapons of war. You were ready to go up into the hill. And the Lord said unto me, say unto them, go not up, neither fight. For I am not among you, lest ye be smitten before your enemies. So I spake unto you, and you would not hear, but rebelled against the commandment of the Lord, and went presumptuously into the hill. Right? So here it is. They're hearing these words that the Most High is saying, and the Lord told them that before here. And it was like, oh, we done messed up. All right, we're gonna redeem ourselves. We're gonna go up to this hill and we're gonna fight in this hill. Most High said, no, that's not what y'all gonna do. I ain't with y'all. Y'all shouldn't go up. No, we good. We're gonna go fight. And they went up into the hill of the Amorites, and the Amorites kicked they behind, right? Because again, Israel was not obedient. The things that, right? And vice versa. When the Most High said, don't do it, they went and did it, right? And that's what happened to them. 44. And the Amorites which dwelt in that mountain came out against you and chased you as bees do, and destroyed you in Seir, even unto Hamah, right? So now coming upon them, because they just our ancestors back then was consistently rebellious, right? Verse 45, and you returned and wept the Lord, but the Lord would not hearken to your voice, nor give ear unto you. So at that moment, the Most High had already made his decision. Right? Y'all now mad and crying and everything else. I ain't listening to y'all. I already told y'all what it's going to be. Y'all don't against my voice. Now when the consequences come, now y'all want to come back, right? Like it tells you in their affliction, they're going to seek me early. Now y'all want to come and follow and say that y'all want to go fight. Nope, it's too late. I've already made my judgment, right? The Most High don't repent on his word. So now your children is going to be the one that's going to take that land. Verse 46, so ye abode in Kadesh many days according unto the days that ye abode there, right? So that's where they dwelt after now falling before the Amorites and now waiting upon the time to where the Lord was going to lead the nation closer and closer to taking the homeland, right? So this was a little bit in this first chapter, it was a bit of backstory to give you where we had gone through the wilderness up until this point now that throughout Deuteronomy, they're going to start receiving the second law.
And some might see it as a long time, 40 years so far as to be reformed from the Egyptian mentality.
Yeah.
The Egyptian culture. So it took us 40 years to, rewind. Rewind us.
And the thing interesting about that is they didn't get rewired, right? They still didn't get rewired in that 40 years. It was the time period to consume them in the wilderness. But like he said before in verse 39, moreover, your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, and your children, which in that day had no knowledge between good and evil. So they're young, right? 40 years have gone by now. So I'm not holding them accountable for that, but their ignorance. But you guys knew better. You saw what I did in Egypt, and you still turned your back. So I'm gonna remove y'all out the way, and I'm gonna bring in a new crop, a new nation, and teach them the right way. I'm going to give them the law now, and then they're going to go into the land of Canaan and conquer and take it over, right? So that's kind of how the Lord is even doing now, right? You're going to have some who say they're about the Most High, but through this proving ground, they're going to be consumed here too, right?
Walk right on by.
Walk right on by, right? Or a part of it and then fall out, right? Lose faith, stop listening to the voice, and then choose another path. All right, so that concludes the first chapter of Deuteronomy. It's about 1 o'clock. We'll come back at 1:30 to do the second half of the service. All right, shalom.